And you're welcome. It's time when we take the dailies for the holidays. It's Tuesday, so we have them with us. A few of them, actually. Winfrey's joining me. Thank you very much, Winfrey. Good to have you here. Let's start with the Nation newspaper for a Tuesday. If you pick up a copy of the Nation newspaper, you'd be met with these headlines. First off, front and center, probe into $500 million Union Bank acquisition widens. Special investigator invites ex-CBN deputy governor and others. Plenty of talk about that one from over the weekend, especially with the revelation about the ex-CBN governor having proxies which he'd used to acquire banks. And I'm like, how many banks exactly? Because these accounts they were myriad. One person? Maybe not. They must be accomplice, is what I thought. So good to see that that probe's going on. Let's find out exactly what's happening here. Also at the top of the Nation newspaper, 50 killed in attacks on Plateau communities. We're here again. Page 28, that one. Federal government extends 50% rebate to non-luxury bus passengers in Abuja. And president, governors, senators, others greet Ganduje at 74. Christian leaders pray for peace, success of Tinubu government. At the bottom, a pope calls for peace among warring nations, denounces weapons industries. And inside of Nigeria, Fubara, Abuja peace pact, not death sentence. Its path to stability in rivers, it goes on to say. At the bottom of the paper for the Nation, investors' return hits 12.4 trillion naira in Yuletide trading. And finally, for the Nation, 9 killed, 3 injured in Osun Christmas Day accident. I want to go back and touch on the 50% rebate for non-luxury bus passengers in Abuja. And I'm wondering or hoping that perhaps maybe this could be extended to more than just the Abuja.
To the entire 36 states.
But I can imagine how it's going to be difficult to check and balance all of these things. I'm not sure if it was you we were talking with, but I was asking, how about if during the Yuletide, everybody, especially even if you're a private car owner, also gets to enjoy this because it's very expensive fueling your car all the way to the village or wherever it is you're going. If we could have just this period, a little rebate when it comes to the fuel. I don't want to use the word subsidy. I don't. Let's run away from that. But I see that the use of rebate has now kind of like taken over the use of subsidy.
Yeah.
How about if there was a rebate on fuel, for instance? Let's cut it by 50%, only just this time, so that we can all make these journeys, not just passengers. I mean, everybody's a passenger, even in their own vehicles.
Of course.
How's that?
So now, what I have to say concerning that, even with this particular non-luxury buses, the truth is now, okay, fine, it's one thing for the government to call for certain things, and another thing for it to be implemented. And we've seen that in several spheres, in several ways in Nigeria, right? Where, I mean, government says one thing, and then another thing is being done. Now, I'm saying, okay, fine, it's one thing to say it. Now, what are they putting in place to actually carry it out? Exactly, to actually make sure it's even easier for the bus owners, because they are profit-oriented. They're thinking how best to maximize the time to literally make all their money. I mean, we're talking about alien services and how everything is increased. Right here in Lagos, even like at airports, what I noticed, Abuja airports, Lagos airports, what I noticed is that you can barely order an alien service at the airports. Why? Because they're cabs that are actually there for airport use, and then they actually try to get the other people out of the so that they actually get customers. However, the rates, what they're charging is ridiculous. Usually 2 times as high as what the normal alien services will actually.
I see a crisis here.
So I just
in Nigeria, starting here in Lagos. Maybe this is a call out to the Lagos State authorities, perhaps do something regarding the situation of transportation fares in Lagos when it comes to hailing services.
Yes.
It is a bit too much of a burden, and yeah, we're suffering. You can't get to work or away from work. I mean...
And another thing I would like to... I mean, I was in Ibadan like 2 weeks ago, and then I went on the train. And there's honestly no reason why we don't have trains around the city, right? The states,
a long-term thing.
The states, and then the cities. Because to be very honest, it was a very smooth ride. The fares were not crazy. The highest end tickets were not even up to 10,000 naira.
Really?
Yes, and I mean, it was a smooth ride. I think so far it's well maintained and all of that. So I mean, why aren't we looking at those kind of things? I mean, yeah, in Lagos we have like, well,
it's all good. Let's see, what papers do you have? This morning?
So
give me a favor and turn our pillow up the right way up. Thank you.
It's really had a lot of fun. Christmas period.
All right, then.
Okay, so I'm with the Punch newspaper here. For the major headlines, we have 13 states plan fresh 2.3 trillion naira borrowing.
2.3 trillion.
2.3 trillion naira borrowing.
Yeah, Winfrey can have my glasses.
For the writers, we have states loan to hit 4.73 trillion naira. Abia and Niger to raise debt profile by over 200%. States engaging in reckless borrowing despite owing salaries, NLC. Okay. And at the top there, to the left, we have Rivers. PDP fumes as Fubara defends Tinubu over peace deal. We have that on page 2. Over 50 killed, soldiers injured in multiple Plateau attacks. We have that on page 7. CBN investigator summons Lemo, others, over Union Bank deal. We have that on page 22. And at the bottom of the image there that has the men, the military men, we have Christmas. Army chief visits Sokoto Hills, gallant soldiers battling insecurity. And on the left right there, we have Naira weakens to 1,233 per dollar at parallel market. Now, that's actually another interesting conversation that needs to be had. Yes, of course. Suspected cultists kill Edo broadcaster over Christmas Eve, on Christmas Eve. To the right of that, we have 11 killed in Osun. Lagos-Ibadan expressway clashes.
Can we come back to the Naira and talk about the instance here? 1,233 Naira per dollar. I didn't think that it was that bad, but this is weakening at this point.
Yeah.
There are many policies that were put in place so far thinking that it's going to help the Naira, one of which is the instance on cryptocurrency and how it's being blocked. You don't have that amount of monies or exchange coming into the country because of cryptocurrency. That was a big deal. And I think over the week or last week, it was the policy was relieved. Let me put it so. So hoping that it's going to help with the situation. I don't know if that's too little, too late. At 1.1, at 1,200 naira. I mean, it's never been this bad. We never thought it was going to be this bad.
Oh, I actually thought it was going to be this bad as of December. I'm actually surprised it actually got. I mean, it actually stayed at 1.2, to be very honest. Some people were actually foreseeing 1.5, 1.7, and maybe 2,000. And to be honest, people still think it's going to get that bad. But let's hope it actually doesn't get that. I think the fact that certain measures we think can actually help ease the situations, the fact that they're working and then there's a back and forth with whether we should implement or not. I think it just goes to show that there are a lot of factors affecting the strength of the Naira. So we could just only hope for the best going
Let's
forward.
move on now to what might be our final paper for today, the Daily Trust newspaper. We have these headlines: 145 killed as bandits attack 23 Plateau villages. You talked about this from the earlier paper. Residents seek international community help. Governor Muftwang urges vigilance. Take ownership of security, defense chief tells Nigerians. At the top for the Daily Trust, implementation of Tinubu's resolution not at detriment of my freedom, says Fubara. Flight delays, cancellations worsen as NCAA pleads with passengers. Aren't they supposed to give back up to 40% if it's
That's
late?
a whole total conversation.
Don't beg me. Don't beg me. Give me back 40%, please. We heard this from last month or 2 months ago when the aviation minister said that we're entitled to at least 40% back if we have any such instances.
Talk is cheap, bruv.
Exactly. Like you said regarding the transportation. Yes, 50% off.
Yes.
Talk is cheap.
Implement it.
Implementation.
Yes.
This is more than luxury. I'm paying a heavy sum to fly. And if you're going to cancel or delay, you also have to pay for that instance as well. There has to be repercussions. Somebody has to be.
So I understand. So normally, it's not normal. It shouldn't be normal. Around the world during Christmas, there are delays, there are cancellation of flights. It is. I mean, it shouldn't be normal, but it happens to be now. But in Nigeria, it's another level.
I'll tell you a story.
It's another level.
A South African story. In South Africa, it was a period where it was plenty of transport, air trafficking.
Yeah.
And I was in South Africa for about 6 days.
Okay.
It got extended to 7 days because my flight was cancelled. But however, I was happy it was cancelled. I was taken care of. I was given meals. I was given a hotel to stay at. It was the best holiday ever.
I'll tell you another story.
In Nigeria.
Wait, let me tell you a story. So I was flying from one state to another. I think Abuja, Delta Abuja or something like that. And then they delayed our flight for like 6 hours.
Left on the bench in your
I sat down, we sat down. They now called that, oh, if you know you're from this certain airline, oh, we have a package for you, apologizing for our something.
One donut and some...
No, that is, they gave us the one they give you when you enter the plane.
That's what they gave.
Yes, that is they tried. There was small pack of juice inside.
That was it.
There was biscuits inside. There was mint.
And you didn't cry bloody murder.
But anyway, this is what I have to say concerning this particular situation, right? As much as, yes, it's terrible because people have plans with their family. Some people even still travel for work during this period.
Yes.
The reason I want to believe that these airlines actually make this kind of delays is to ensure that passengers are safe. Now, around the world, the major thing that affects these flights are the weather, or rather is the weather, amongst other things. Do you understand? So now in Nigeria, we have several issues. And because of how more often or how more frequently they travel during December and this period, that literally puts a lot of pressure on the engines. And these are machines. And they don't want to say, okay, because you paid, they will now carry on an engine that they know needs to be checked and serviced.
Oh, wow.
So, to be honest, I'm looking at things now.
That's very interesting, Winfrey. That's
your problem.
That's what you get
when
you're married to a captain.
Whatever you say, that's your problem. I'm just saying, at least now I understand things a little clearer.
I would not have thought of that.
Seriously.
That is interesting.
So safety first. Wow. Lives matter.
Well, that's as much as we can take. We did it. Thank you very much. Are we going back to the punch again? No, we're not going back to the punch. That's an inside joke. That's an inside joke. We're not doing that. Thank you very much for staying with us inside for the papers. Thank you very much for that piece of education, Winfrey.
Thank you.
Hope you learned as well out there. Stay tuned. There's plenty happening this Tuesday, even if it's still the holiday. We're bent on making sure that you guys have a great start to your morning.
Yes, we are.